What's going on, people? Welcome to the player ratings. Palace to Bournemouth 0. Finally got the win, but I'm joined by T here to discuss the individual performances from the game. As always, if you do enjoy the content, hit the like button and subscribe to not miss out on future videos, and leave down your player ratings in the comment section down below. T, we had a discussion about the team performance during the match reaction, but let's talk about some of the individuals that led us to that victory. And let's start off with the goalkeeper, Vicente Guaita. We kept the clean sheet. I gave him a 7. You gave him a 7.5. Overall, I don't think he had that much to do, but when he was called upon, he looked pretty solid.
That's pretty much the definition of his evening. You know what I'm saying? When he had to make the save, he made the save. I mean, the biggest one that stands out to me was that point blank save that he had. Was it Salaki that shot that one? I know Sariki Dembele played him in behind, but I can't remember who took the shot. But it was like point blank. It was a point blank shot. Boom, parted over the goal. So I mean, solid. I mean, I don't think you could ever give a goalie less than a 7 when they get a clean sheet, but especially when they make necessary saves to keep the ball out. So
to be fair, he didn't have much to do. So
not as much as you would think.
Exactly.
But
so yeah,
but I mean, because if he doesn't make those saves, then the game looks different. So
exactly. It's good that he didn't get called up on that much. So I'm happy, even if it's not a 9 out of 10. When it's a 9 out of 10, that means that there's something definitely wrong with your performances.
Exactly.
The fact that you rely on your goalkeeper that much. Moving on to the right back, Nathaniel Klein. He didn't have a great game against Fulham, but I thought he bounced back today. He looked like the usual Klein. He looked solid in his position.
Solid.
I don't think he done anything great in particular. Maybe he could have done a bit more overlapping, but it seemed like we were happy with our approach in terms of, fullbacks. They can push forward, but not as much. I thought we had a relatively solid game. That's why I gave him a 6.5. For you, improvement from Fulham, but
big improvement from Fulham. I think solid performance overall, man. If put it like this, if he was to perform like that for the duration of the season, I'm fine, because he puts in a solid shift defensively and offensively, getting forward, being effective with passing and things, not making mistakes. I'm good with it.
Exactly. Joachim Andersen, he was also part of that 3-0 defeat. He played good against Fulham, but against Bournemouth, once again, he didn't look out of place. Both gave him a 7.5, so we both agree on the ratings.
Yep.
He didn't have much to do, but when, just like the Vicente situation, he was very solid. It was a very solid performance from him, and there's not really much to add about it other than he didn't look out of place. In honesty, I think the next player that we can talk about a bit more, and that is Mark Gahey, which you gave him a 7.5. I give him an 8. I thought we had a better performance than Joachim Andersen, and we saw his worth. We saw all that panic about James Tompkins. It was temporary, because even if he didn't get a red card, Gahey will walk in.
He was going to come back.
He showed his worth, and he was composed at the back. He kept the back four all solid, and he just got comfortable on and off the ball. And it just shows that even though he might have had some games this season where he might not perform that great, maybe the Everton game and some few other games, overall he's still that solid defender that could have easily gone to the World Cup as well. And today he proved himself.
You gotta appreciate having a guy like him in your squad, man. I mean, my score could have easily been an 8, and we could have had the exact same score here. I mean, he had a really good performance. I mean, between him and Anderson, man, they are a different team. We are a different team when those two are together at the center for us. But in particular, the thing that makes Gahey too so special is his mobility, man. To have the defensive ability that he has, but then have the mobility and the motor that he has, specifically thinking about that recovery run he was able to make when they almost got that ball in behind. He was able to make that recovery and stop that play. Like, there aren't many center backs that can make that. You know what I mean? So happy to have him. Really think he should have been in the World Cup. If that guy's 2 inches taller, he's top of the pops, world class, man.
All right, so let's talk about Wardy now. Wardy, Joe Ward, left back, out of position. You gave him a 6. I gave him a 7.
I think I can see why you gave him that 7, because he's playing out of position and he had a solid game.
Out of position, and
so with that being said, I could easily move up to a 7. I wasn't thinking about it like that. when I gave the original score, but I could take mine up to a 7 because of what you're saying. The fact that he was out of position and he played a really solid performance.
Yeah, I thought he had a fantastic performance. And you know, look, he's not a left back. We know that he's not a left back. We still need to probably strengthen in that area. And despite this performance against Tottenham, I'm still a bit worried. I don't know how we'll do against better quality opposition because, with all due respect, we've done a very good tactical job. And I think another thing about Joel Wood to mention is, yes, his overall game was good, but the reason why he was good is because he was pretty reactive to every situation. Tactically, I think Vieira told him that every time, I forgot who the right back was for Bournemouth, but every time it was not right back, maybe right mid or right centre mid, that push into them wide areas. Every time he touched the ball, Ward was on him straight away. He didn't allow the opposition to turn around, and I think that's where you get the best out of Joel Ward.
That's probably how he's got to play against Tottenham. To be honest with you, you don't have to do that against Tottenham.
And that's what he needs to do going forward because he hasn't got the pace. So every time the opponent touches the ball, he needs to be on him straight away. And I think that's why he had a pretty good game against Bournemouth, is because he didn't allow his opponents to run at him. And I think it's that straightforward. He hasn't got the legs, but he has got the IQ. So as long as he stops the opponents getting into stride, I think he will have many other good games for Palace. But still, going forward, we still need a left-footed left back. We can't be playing a right back. That wouldn't even start right back for us.
Right. he got forward a little bit more too. He got forward a little bit too.
He looked a bit. And he made some forward passes as well, which was good. Even though it was right foot, like he didn't look out of place. He definitely looked like a solid for me. Solid 7 out of 10. Anyways, moving on to the midfield. Check Decore 7.5, 7 for you. I thought he held it down very good.
Absolutely.
Look, in the midfield, I think we'll talk about Jeffrey Schlupp in a second as well. We didn't lose that battle. We changed the system. There was 2 pivots. It was both Decore and Jeffrey Schlupp. And Decore, when he was called upon, and what I liked the most about Decore is just like the Joel Wood situation that I was talking about. Off the ball, he was pressing high onto the opponent so they couldn't get the ball. And you saw it many times where he's pushing forward, going past our halfway line, and making sure he's tracking the Bournemouth midfielders. And I think that's what helped this game so significantly. Very good on the ball, off the ball, read the game pretty well. And he held it down in midfield. We've over-relied on him at times. Luckily, in this game, we sorted out the midfield in a way that it's just not checked Decore. But even when he was called upon, he just didn't look out of place. He looked like the Decore that we expect from.
Yep, I tweeted out earlier, man. Check Decore, his performance in our midfield looks a lot different when he has a partner right next to him. And it's not just him holding it down in front of the back 4. And if you notice, man, I think today was the first time he's had 3 shots in a game. He had 3 shots.
Forward.
Yeah, so that means not only is he being able, and I think part of it, like you said, him being able to push up and defend high because he knows he has somebody opposite him with him. You know what I'm saying? He's defending higher, and he's also getting opportunities at the top of the box. Mark my words, we stay with this setup. We stay with this look and formation. One of those long range shots is going to get through, and it's going to hit the back of the net, just like we saw him doing in France.
Yeah, look, I think we have to stay with the system because we haven't got players to play 3-man midfield and play high intensity pressing. I think the 2 holding midfielders, someone next to Decore, it has to happen. And the player that was next to Decore in this game was Jeffrey Schlupp, which many people didn't want to start in this game when the lineup was announced. But yeah, I thought we had a relatively good game. And it might sound harsh. I gave Decore 7.5 and Schlupp a 6, but I feel like Decore done all the hard work in a way. I think he was more involved in midfield. Maybe not the hard work. I think that might be a bit discrediting too.
Well, he benefited. He benefited from the double pivot more than Schlupp.
Exactly. And you said it to me before we started recording this. Jeffrey Schlupp after the game spoke about it, and it seemed like Vieira said you need to be more disciplined. And I think that might help this game. He had a focus in this game rather than doing both defensive and attacking duties, and it probably did help him because he was just holding down that one position rather than running up and down.
Because when you think about it, man, it's kind of a combination of, you know, what you were saying after the Fulham game. People just run by him. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when he's more advanced up the field. If you got some players that are just running by him, we're automatically a man down, and the other team has an advantage. Patrick Vieira probably told him, look, man, play back further next to Decore, defend first. You need to be a defender first. If you get the opportunity to get forward, to get involved, good. But you need to be more disciplined. You need to defend first. That's the most important thing. And he said it in the interview, like we talked about. So now you've taken out the aspect of him getting run by all the time. And then you've also solidified us being more solid at the back and giving a guy like Decore more room to be himself. Now, the thing that makes it better is, like you said, he's not built to be part of a midfield three. He's not a true midfielder. He's more of a defender than he is a midfielder, to be completely honest, which is kind of crazy. But when you think about it, with Jeffrey Schlupp going forward, what do we usually get? We'll get the flash in the pan goal every 4 or 5 matches. Like,
is
that really is the reward outweighing the risk there? No, it's not. So just make him be more disciplined, make him defend first. If he gets his opportunities going forward, fine, so be it. But let's solidify things at the back so that we can be more effective when we get the chance to attack.
Yeah, so for me, I think if you're going to play Jeffrey Schlupp in midfield, you have to give him a purpose. Yep. I don't think it works in that 3-man midfield because one, he's not a midfielder, as you said. Yep. And second of all, we haven't got other midfielders to kind of complement his game. So for me, if Jeffrey Schlupp is going to start in midfield, I'd rather he starts alongside Decore and sit, because like that, you tell him exactly what to do and he can focus on that. When you're telling Jeffrey Schlupp to run up and down the pitch, do this press, and I think he just gets confused. He just, one, he's not a midfielder, as I've just said. Yep. And two, I don't think he's got that ability to do everything in midfield. He's not one of the guys who's the best player. But by the stats, it does look like he is. But when you do the eye test, he's just not. He's not excellent presser. He's not excellent defender. And also he has moments going forward, but he's not it's not like he's amazing on the ball as well. He just has his moments. And that's why you have to give him a purpose. If you're using Jeffrey Schlupp as a holding midfielder and you tell him to sit, I think there you get more out of Jeffrey Schlupp. Saying that, going forward, I would still like to see Will Hughes, because in the long run, even though he had a decent game in this one,
natural midfielder.
In the long run, I think Will Hughes is still, in my opinion, might be a better holding midfielder than Schlupp.
Yeah, natural midfielder, better passer, probably like a better, just a link artist than him. I think it was easier for Schlupp too, playing that sitting role, because of the fact that his passing options become easier. Because now you have Decore to one side, you have your fullback to the other side, you have Eze just ahead of you, you have a center back, you have 2 center backs behind you. So I think the passing options become easier for him rather than being more advanced up the field, where you got to be better with the ball at your feet, knowing who to go to quicker. Whereas being more of a sitting role, he could be a little bit more patient and have more options around.
Yeah. All right, let's run through these. We're running out of time. So Eze, great goal today.
Yeah.
And I like that he played through the middle. I think that's his best position. It's not wide midfielder. Saying that, I give him a 7.5. Saying that, I still think he's got room for improvement. I think sometimes his decision making can be a bit better, but it's good. The fundamentals are there. If he continuously plays through that middle as a number 10, I think he'll naturally improve. That's the thing. He's been consistent with his positioning as well. For me, he's a better midfielder than Elise is, and that's his role rather than outside. 100%. So we had a good goal, good game, and you can see that there's something in him. He's probably going to get more assists and goals if he does continuously play in that number 10 role. But we both gave him a 7.5 there. Elise, now he went out wide instead of Eze, and I gave him an 8.5. You gave him an 8. I was joking before we started the show. I was saying how I gave this 7, but yeah, I thought he had a very good game. 2 assists, but forget about the assist, T. I thought just playing out wide, 1-on-1 with the defenders. That's where he suited the best.
Yep.
And I think he will naturally improve once we get a better right back as well. That's better overlaps and support. But once again, I thought he had a fantastic game. I thought he had a brilliant game playing out wide, and you can see. But Eze scores a goal playing through the middle. Elise gets assists playing out wide. It's not rocket science. Just play them in a position.
Because there's less thinking that they have to do, because they're playing in positions that they're affluent with already. And I think it's kind of similar to what you said with Schlupp with Elise. When he's on the right wing, he's in a position where he has a purpose. He understands what his purpose is. being on the right wing. Pick up the ball, run at people, create for other people. You know what I mean? He understands where all the other defenders are going to be. So he just has a better feel for the game. I mean, and the thing that he gave us is chance creation, which is one of the things that we've been needing more than anything else. The reason why we didn't have a shot on goal for the past 2 games because of chance creation. And yes, granted, they came from corners, but chance creation is chance creation. His ability to pass and put a good pass into an area, or a driven pass to the top of the box like he did to Eze, that is not an easy pass. So I don't know, man. I think he was where he needed to be, and he deserved the grades that he got.
Yeah, 100%. And talking about chance creation, Will was playing up front, but in this game he moved out wide. You gave him a 7, you gave him a 7, I gave him a 7.5. Despite giving a 7.5 and you giving a 7, I don't know about you, but I thought he had a very solid game.
Absolutely.
And he kind of took the attention with the Bournemouth defender, just trying to focus on Wilf as well. And that's what we want to see. When they focus on Wilf, you want to have Elise on the other side where he can make that switch and Elise can target it. So both players out wide, I thought they had a great game. And I feel like Wilf today, he done all the basics right. And he didn't have a 9 or 10 out of 10 performance, but he didn't have a bad game as well. I thought he had a very solid game. I'll take Wilf having 7.5s all day if it means that Elise
100%.
and Eze play like they do as well. I think it's better like that. You don't rely on them too much as well. And you done everything. You track back, going forward, he was a threat as well. And there was good link-up play between him, Wardy at times, and other midfielders. So overall, I was very pleased with his performance.
Yep. Goals and assists are the only thing that gives them higher grade. Goals and assists are the only thing that
exactly.
That
Other than that, yeah, you can't really get much higher than that. Jordan Ayew up front. Never thought I'd see the day that Jordan Ayew is going to be playing up front, and I'm giving him an 8, and you're giving him a 7.5. Got a goal from a set piece, of course. But apart from that, I really liked how he was just even out of possession. He wins a lot of fouls. When we hoofed it, he won a lot of balls, and that's why I gave him an 8. I thought he had a very, very good game. People will talk about Elise and how he performed, but for me, Jordan Ayew in this game, he played a very important part. Even if you take away his goal and just look at how he just played in general, he played a very important part of us getting this win. And it's something that I didn't really think about Jordan Ayew playing up front. It kind of shocked me when the game started. But even when the game started, I was like, you know what? It might be worth it. It might be something decent, and it might work out in the end with Ayew starting up front.
I mean, the thing about Ayew, man, and sorry, my brother's phone's going off. But the thing about Ayew, man, that you have to realize is when you put him in that situation as the guy up top, he is going to give those center backs all they can handle. Whether he scores or not, whether he gets an assist or not, they're gonna have to work because that dude never stops. He never stops. Yeah. So he's just going to be an absolute
This is a menace. He just wins fouls as well. Like you saw it, like the way he's winning fouls, like everyone was frustrated. The Bournemouth fans, the Bournemouth players. He just causes you something different. Normally he does it out wide, but when you do it through the middle and you attract 2 defenders onto you, it's even better because it opens up space for the likes of Wilf and Elise to run in behind. Or defenders have to focus on Jordan Ayew as well. And he's got a great first touch as well. Don't get me wrong. Ayew is maybe his end product is not there at times. I don't think should be a permanent striker because I don't think he'll score or get enough goals and assists. Maybe I'm wrong. But his first touch is brilliant. Like he helps it there. When we were sweeping the ball up to him, he controlled it majority of the time as well.
And he's great with the hold up.
Yeah, he is. He is. Moving on to the bench. There wasn't much to talk about, but Edward, both gave him a 6. Thought he could have done better with one chance when Elisa was running down the right hand side. You could have set him through, but it was kind of.
And there was a one play for me when Will Hughes had just gotten in, and they got a little break, and they got it up. I feel like they got it up to Edward, and rather than taking a shot, I think he tried to pass it. But I mean, I think
it was a solid performance coming off the bench, anyways. Same with JP for me. He didn't really do much. He was involved, but it was nothing amazing coming off the bench or nothing bad. I thought they both had a very solid performance. And then finally, Will Hughes, another 6 from both of us as well. I thought that they came off the bench, done their roles, and pretty much that's it. There isn't much that I can discuss about the bench performances. But look, great display from Palace, great performance. Forget about just a result. Great performance. Some of the good performance that we talked about here. And we got a result and we go against Tottenham again. But if you have enjoyed the player ratings, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And also let us know if you agree and disagree with our ratings. Let's hear what you guys have to say as well. But until next time, up the Palace.